get into it. How's it going, y'all? It's Nix's here. A couple videos ago, I did my reaction to Domani. I call him Dormammu. If you know Ball, you'll understand why. But he put out his Miss Jackson video. I did my reaction to it. It made it onto 2 reaction comp channels, the Reactors Guild and the Black Alpha. So shout out to both of y'all. Y'all are the fucking best. Salute to y'all. Y'all are the best. You are what make this community thrive. You are the heartbeat of this community. And I'm so grateful and so honored to be put among the goats of this reaction shit. So I wanted to address one specific line that was brought to my attention, and it was when Domani mentioned the Emperor's new clothes. Now, I was not familiar with the story of the Emperor's new clothes, so I decided to look it up. And it's more relevant than y'all realize. So, The Emperor's New Clothes is a Danish fairy tale that was written by author Hans Christian Andersen. If that name sounds familiar to you, it should, because he has penned classics such as The Little Mermaid and The Snow Queen, which Disney would eventually adapt into the movie Frozen. Hans Christian Andersen wrote this story, and it's about a vain emperor who is tricked by 2 scam artists, 2 swindlers, vagabonds, into believing that he is wearing magnificent new clothes that are invisible to anyone who is stupid or unfit to rule in their position. They convinced him that, oh, you're not naked, your clothes are just magic, and the only ones who can't see it are all the people that are too stupid or unfit for your role. Only the people that are beneath you can't see the true magic in your clothes. And of course, this emperor is fucking stupid, not realizing that, he's completely nude and he's being swindled. He goes out in public for a royal procession. So he basically parades around with his guards and everything, and all of his subjects, all of the lower class people, out of fear of punishment, they go along with it. They're like, oh yeah, your clothes are great. Yeah, they're magnificent. You're really killing it out there. Keep doing your thing. And so everything's fine until, some random kid decides to blurt out the truth in true child fashion. He's like, hey yo, this emperor is naked. He got his booty cheeks just out. And suddenly the truth hits like a ton of bricks. Everybody's like, oh, yeah, you're naked, dude. And the emperor is utterly embarrassed. He gets laughed out the party, and he is forced to walk around now under the new realization that he has in fact been scammed, and he just paraded around his entire kingdom in nothing but his underwear. The moral of the story: hubris is the downfall of mankind. And if that sounds familiar to you, it should. And if it doesn't, by God, you're gonna be reciting this shit after you're done going through my channel. Hubris, pride, vanity is the downfall of mankind. Also, it highlights the importance of speaking truth to power, even when it's difficult. You've got our emperor here. You could put anybody in the emperor's spot. Drake, 50 Cent, pretty much anybody who has ever been swindled by an industry or the industry, convinced that they're better than what they actually are. They gas them up, they fill them up with this false confidence. Like, oh, your clothes are actually, Gucci and Versace. Okay, imagine you get... You get sold fake Gucci, right? And the person who sells it is like, oh yeah, it's authentic. It's 100% authentic. You don't know. And they charge you like what? They scalp the prices. So like it's super expensive, but they're like, oh, I got it off the truck. The truck accidentally tipped over during a delivery and I was able to grab a few. Only to find out that the bag was in fact a phony, a fake, a dud. And you are utterly embarrassed because you realize You just got played. So Domani is telling 50, brother, you may think that you're all high and mighty and all big and bad and shit, but that ain't nothing but an act, fam. That's just a position that you were given by the swindlers, aka the white industry. And I'm not saying all white people, I'm saying the white industry, the 1%. They have essentially gassed him up into believing that he is superior to his black brothers and sisters, giving him all these new shows, giving him producers credits, giving him creative control over this documentary, Netflix giving 50 a bag to essentially drag Sean Combs' name through the mud, even though Sean Combs fucking deserves it. You're a fucking monster. Dormammu also points out, I'm gonna keep calling him Dormammu. If you're mad, I don't care. Dormammu points out multiple times how 50 uses the black community to elevate his own status, but when it's time to actually stand up for the community, when, you know, they're going through some sort of adversity, he is uncharacteristically silent, but he's still making money off of it. He's basically saying, you use your black card only when it's convenient for you. Meanwhile, behind the scenes, you are constantly profiting off of the deficit of your black brothers and sisters. You're a phony. You're a sellout. He's calling him a sellout. He's also sending a message. Domani in this situation is the child that calls out to the people that the emperor is naked. He is exposing 50 in this position. He is like, y'all, 50 ain't all he's cracked up to be. He ain't all the smiles and the, you know, power and get rich or die trying. He's abandoned his identity. And that's why when the line, you know 50 Cent more than you know yourself, that's why that line hits so hard, because he's basically saying, bro, you abandoned Curtis Jackson. You've adopted this moniker, 50 Cent, and you go on all these interviews and all these productions, and you sit down and cheese and laugh with all these distinguished rich white people, just yucking it up, Uncle Tomming it up. Meanwhile, your people are struggling. The foot of oppression is being pressed down onto our necks, harder and harder and harder, to the point where we unfortunately don't have much room to breathe. And where's 50? At the top, sitting in those little fancy chairs, sipping wine, eating off of the Chattahoochee boards. Huh? Yes, I know what the fuck I said. Eating off the Chattahoochee boards and kee-heeing and yuck-yucking, cheesing it up with the elites. He couldn't give two shits about y'all. He's made it to the top. He used his black card to skate his way up to the top. And then he did what a lot of black people in Hollywood do. He adapted to his surroundings. Unfortunately, the surroundings that he adapted to are extremely corrupt and morally bankrupt. He blended in, he morphed into his surroundings. And that is a survival tactic. He didn't do it because he genuinely wanted to achieve greater and he genuinely wanted to spotlight black excellence. He only cared about himself. This was all in his self-interest and the self-interest of those who side with him and the dark forces that he's unfortunately sold his soul to. The child in this scenario, your people like Kendrick, Pusha T, Malice, Tyler the Creator, Domani, Childish Gambino, those are all of your truth tellers. That reminds me of a video I did a long time ago. It's currently sitting at like 7,000 views or something like that. Take a look at it. In that video, I made mention to a line that Kendrick says in Meet the Grams that everybody missed except for one person that I saw. And it was in reference to the 5% Nation. So I did my research and I learned that the 5% Nation is the belief that 15% of the world hold all of the world's knowledge and 10% of the world wants to keep that knowledge away from the masses. They want to gatekeep that knowledge for their own selfish benefits. And the 5% are the ones who know the truth and actively want to spread that truth to the masses in order to empower them so that they aren't manipulated by the other 10%. If you want to watch the video, go and watch it. It's very interesting stuff to think about, and it really gives you a new perspective when you're looking at the industry and media outlets and even certain YouTube channels and how they all are designed to essentially distract from this specific topic. To close, Domani shed light on a very, very relevant topic. The Emperor's New Clothes has been referenced in a lot of things. Been referenced in Disney. I think Panic at the Disco made some fucking song about it. You probably never heard it before. It's not very popular. I'm gonna piss off all the Panic at the Disco fans with that one. But I said what I said. I'ma stand on it. I know I'm trolling, but I'ma stand on it. It's not a song that y'all have heard before. Even my emo fans, my rock fans, y'all never heard this song before. Panic at the Disco, some tiny little garage band, you've never heard of them before. They're not very relevant. I think one of them even may be like a PDF file from what I heard. The moral of the story is, again, hubris is the downfall of mankind, and truth overcomes all. Those who have the courage to speak up against oppression, even through the fear of retaliation, the rewards are far greater in the long run than if you were to conform to the masses out of fear. So the people who were afraid to speak out, that's essentially 80% of the world right now. We're all afraid to speak out because of fear of retaliation. Because unfortunately, while he, is butt-ass naked, he is still the emperor. He has power over them. He holds the key between life and death for these people. So that's why initially they were afraid to speak out. But here comes the child, completely unbiased, innocent, pure, no fear of retaliation, nothing like that. They see the truth for what it is, and they're not afraid to call it out. So when he calls out the very obvious truth, suddenly the veil is destroyed. The veil of fear is annihilated, and suddenly the people see the truth for what it is. They see that they held the power the whole time. Like, there's all of them and one of him. And right now he's standing in his underwear in broad daylight, looking absolutely foolish. And so they clowned him. They sure did. And this is what's happening right now. 50 has just been exposed for being a phony. A fake. It wasn't real. The glitz and the glamour and the delusions of grandeur, that's all they were, delusions. He was just a small, scared little boy who hid behind this persona of somebody who had all the right answers, somebody who has it made, somebody who's mature and business-minded and hardworking, somebody who poses himself as a champion of his people. Because he came up through hip-hop. That was how he rose to fame. And then he made that transition that a lot of rappers back then did. They transitioned from rapping to acting, and it took off for him, and he ended up ascending to magnificent heights, much higher than a lot of black men in his position were ever able to achieve back then. But he let that go to his head. He let the 1% warp his mind and convince him that he was now superior to his black brethren, the people that were his fans, the people that lifted him up, the people that allowed him to ascend to that position that he's currently in. They convinced him that those people don't matter. They're just peons that you can pay in order to have them work for you. Meanwhile, you could do whatever to them. You could play in their fucking face and they'll be too scared to say anything, because at the end of the day, you're the one paying their bills. It's manipulation, borderline slavery. If that sounds familiar, it should, because Kanye said it. Yeah, he said it very shittily. He could have worded it 1,000 times better, but he did say, in this new day and age, slavery is now a choice. And he's correct. There are a lot of people out here in this world that are choosing to be slaves to the machine, and slaves to their own thoughts, slaves to their own traumas, purposefully letting these things encapsulate them and just tear them down, not knowing that the key was in their hand the whole time. You at home, I'm pointing at the camera, you at home ultimately have the choice to break free from whatever holds you down. People are waking up. Black people are waking up. And it's people like the 5% who are actively seeding out the truth. Whether they can directly say it or not, they are putting the truth out there. And the rest of the masses are starting to put the pieces together. The puzzle is almost complete. The truth has been given to us, and it's up to us what we do with it. As always, I have been Nixus, and I will catch you in the next video. See ya.